your sales pipeline looks like this. Basically, a cloud trying to rain leads into a bucket. Now, what I mean by that, this is like a weird, way to start the video off, is essentially the way your business currently runs. I'm just guessing, right? I'm thinking your sales pipeline is unpredictable, right? Now, why I am making such, big claims and such big assumptions, because I speak to hundreds of agency owners and overall business owners every single day, right? Maybe not hundreds every single day, but over the month period. And oftentimes what I see and the main problem they have is client acquisition because they don't have a predictable system to actually get them appointments and in the end book them a lot of meetings. Okay. Because as you know, from meetings come sales. Okay. Now, what people usually try to rely on, or at the start, you kind of try to create an inbound system, right? So what usually happens, they have like this inbound system that they're really proud of, and they're trying to get leads, right? And every single lead is a super qualified lead, and they are really easy to sell, right? But your pipeline is a small red bucket, right? And even if we have more, raindrops coming in, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get all of those leads. And basically what it means is all of these leads that could have gone to you are not going into your pipeline, and in the end it means that you're not getting leads, right? And you're just missing out a lot of opportunities. Now, what I'm trying to get this point across is you actually need an outbound system that is predictable, because even if shit goes south and even if you have too many or too less appointments coming in, you can always stop it or increase the amount of, outbound outreach efforts you send out, and you'll get more appointments, and in the end you get more meetings and more clients. So what I'm talking about is an outbound system. So probably you can see that there are like two big differences between those is obviously the flow, right? The flow of the whole, outbound system compared to the inbound system. And then, the stream itself. Everything goes into the pipeline, okay? So with outbound, usually what you have is you have an outbound system, whether it be cold email, cold call, SMS, LinkedIn, whatever, and then basically launch it. And if everything is proven to work for you or anyone else, that means you're gonna get leads straight into your pipeline without losing anyone out because it works, right? And if you want more leads, you basically can, turn up the volume and just get more, make the stream faster than it is right now, and you'll get more leads because everything is predictable. With outbound systems, once you have it, it's predictable. And if you want less leads because you have too many appointments, you just turn it down, and eventually you'll have less appointments coming in. Right? Hopefully you don't want to do that, but sometimes it happens. I had to do it a few times myself. Once I have too many appointments, you just cannot handle it anymore. So just to not, waste money and time, just kind of stop it for a bit. All right. So how do you actually get an algo system that is predictable and proven to work? So there are a few things. First thing is you actually need to choose. You actually need to find what type of predictable system you want to build, whether it be, cold emails, whether it be, system two could be cold calls, system three could be, cold DMs essentially. So it depends on what you want to do, and maybe you have, and hopefully you are doing something ready to build that system out. And there are a few things that you have to do. For example, for cold emails, right? Let's just choose cold emails. There are a few things that you need to have. Is first, because everything goes in a funnel, right? So there are a few steps in a funnel. So the first thing is the input, right? This is the input. How many actual leads can reach out to? So first you need to have a lead source, that is actually big enough. So hopefully your target market is big enough to actually reach out to enough leads. And once you have that, you're able to send out emails, right? So you have a lead source, and with that you're able to send out emails. So how many emails can you actually send, right? Send. So let's say you're able to send out 10,000 emails, like let's say send 1,000 emails per day, right? Per day. And afterwards, what you actually want to get out of cold emails is replies, positive replies, and eventually bookings. Okay. So let's say out of 1,000 emails, only, two, or like, let's say 2% reply. Okay. So that means you'll have 20 positive, not 20 replies, right? 20 replies. 20 replies. Now, out of those 20 replies, let's say 40% of them are positive replies. So what you're getting with that is 5 positive replies, okay? And then, let's say out of those 40, out of those 5, so overall, let's say out of 1,000 leads, you have a 0.1% booking rate, so you should be getting 1%, right? 20% of them should be bookings. Honestly, make it better metrics, it should be 50% of those should be booking, but just let's do it only 1%, only one books, right? Only 1% books, okay? So what it means, out of 1,000 leads, you got 20 replies. 20 replies. Out of 20 replies, you got 5 positive replies, and out of those 5, 1 booked. Okay? If it was a better system and you had better metrics, you should be having around 2 bookings out of 5 positive replies. But let's say you just didn't have enough time and they just got 1 booking. Okay? Now, once you see those metrics, you understand, okay, so if I send 1,000 emails per day and I send out, and 20 days a month, well, every weekday on a working day, then I should be, in theory, getting 20 bookings, right? One day, maybe months you get more, a bit less, but basically you know that you're going to get 20 bookings either way, because that's how metrics works, that's how math works, all right? So there are a few options that you can do. Either you kind of, scale the whole system and make everything, much a larger scale. So instead of 1,000 emails per day, you can be sending 2,000 emails per day. So what you other things you have to do is increase the infrastructure, right? So just basically get more cold email accounts, make everything more safe, get more leads, and you can actually, send basically and scale up. Okay, that's one option. Honestly, looking at these metrics, I wouldn't do that unless you have like a really, hard or whatever industry that's really hard to get replies on and bookings. Then why not just try to scale it this way? Though, what I would do, since we have a reply rate of 2%, what I try to do is actually focus on this metric and try to hopefully get it to 4%, right? And maybe just 3%, but just by having a 3%, you increase your chances of 50%. And instead of that, you would be getting, more bookings. So even if you could double the 4%, which is honestly really doable, is you would be having 40 replies. Out of that, you would have same metrics, keeping everything the same. You would be getting 10 bookings. I guess I was previously wrong just by looking at it. It was supposed to be uh, 4 and 10 1, right? So it would be 25% appointment booking rate, and out of that, that should be 8 bookings if you were to book 40% more of them more replies, and out of those 8, and if we still have a 25% appointment booking rate coming from the positive replies, we would be having 2 bookings, right? And just by increasing that, you basically double the amount of bookings you can get. And at the end of the month, if you are sending 20 days per month with these metrics, right? With these metrics, you should be getting 40 bookings per month, right? Which I feel like is not a bad deal. So hopefully you understand once you have a proven system, because metrics are always the same. Metrics speak for business, right? You don't need to make any emotional decisions. Everything that you make is based on metrics. And once you have a proven system like this, you're able to scale, because you actually know once you have these metrics, even it's 2%, 40% reply rates, positive reply rate, and 25% of those positive reply rates book a meeting, then you know that if you send more emails per day, you're actually able to scale and have a predictable system. And once you have those metrics and you use the same lead source, everything the same, you can turn it off and come back in a month or two, and the system will almost always have the same metrics or somewhere around, just like the time seasons always change. So what I'm trying to get the point I'm trying to get across is you don't actually need to focus on like these really good leads, because obviously they are good leads, but what you want to focus on is actually having a system that is predictable and proven to work. So even if shit goes south, you know that you can book appointments because it worked for you previously, it's working for other people, so why shouldn't it work for you as well? Okay, so if that's something you want to talk more about, I'd be happy to build you out a super predictable and a proven system to work for other agencies, other businesses, and I'd love to do it for you as well. So feel free to pick time on my calendar. Will be the first link in the description, and we can have free strategy call and see if there's any way we could help you. And if not, you'll at least leave the call with some valuable info that I feel like could be worth for you to on how to book more appointments. Okay, so appreciate you. Hopefully you made it all the way through, and I made it valuable for you. So actually build a predictable system, and have an amazing day.